Good morning. I think by now everyone has seen the fiasco that happened in the Oval Office, or at least parts of it, where JD Vance and Donald Trump ambushed Vladimir Zelensky, president of Ukraine. And I mean, it was shameless and disgusting. And it was more than that, though. It was a performance. It was practically scripted, and JD Vance played his part, and it was targeting certain people in America that may or may not be, they believing what they're saying, and they want to make sure that you believe what they're saying, and they want to make sure that when they do the next things they're going to do, that you will have a moment, an occasion to point back at in your pedantry and your well actually types of posts and things like that. So what they did was put some slop in your trough. And they believe that those people are pink piggies lined up at the trough, ready to eat whatever slop they put in there. They trust that you will. You're practically like a team member in the fact that you will buy anything that they put in that slop. You will eat it up. If it's rancid, you'll gobble it up. If it's poisoned and it'll hurt you, you gobble it up. And you'll walk around with it on your snout, and you'll expect other people to respect you, but you will be persistent in saying it because it's going to give you diarrhea, and you're going to be spreading that bullshit everywhere, if we're being honest, okay? So that's the part that they want us to play in that. And many of us will stand up and say, I'm not a pig and I'm not eating your slop. But many other people will just gobble, 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 gobble and oink around and show us their little curly tails. So what are some of the things that they want us to believe and to use this to justify what they're going to do? Well, Pete Hegseth has ordered the Cyber Command to stop any offensive cyber operations against Russia. And I want to just remind people some things about Russia. One thing that we know is that a lot of the ransomware attacks that we see against hospitals, against cities, against organizations, where having their information systems be down would be devastating to them. They get attacked, and oftentimes they pay their way out of it. Sometimes they do other things. And there's not a lot of transparency all the time. We don't always know when they're happening. Some of them you can't help but know. We don't always know whether they paid them or they didn't. But a lot of these have been, at the very least, sanctioned by Russia. And if they're sanctioned by Russia, then, well, because they're coming out of Russia, well, then we know that they're benefiting Russia. And they use crypto. It's not traceable. And if you're a government that's been highly sanctioned, you want money that you can spend and money that people can't trace back to you. So do the math on that one. Another thing I want to remind us about is, remember this, Russia sits in all of our election infrastructure in all 50 states, and Reality Winner went to prison to talk to us about that. A lot of the Russia's cyber attacks involved helping Donald Trump to get to where he was right now, right? So this is a gimme, and Marco Rubio, God, good Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio wanted to sink into that couch, it appeared, but boy, he's out and running. He's found his words. He was sitting there trying to think of how he would say this, but they've told him and he's doing it. So he is saying that this is, a way to bring Russia to the table, and we can't be antagonistic against Russia. And we need to show them we need to give them something to get them to the table, because Donald Trump's going to get his Nobel Peace Prize for ending this war, right? And that's part of it. I mean, there's a big thing with Donald Trump that he wants this Nobel Peace Prize. He loves these awards. Boy, he wants these awards so badly. And he would be willing to give Ukraine to Russia just to get that award, to be able to say, yeah, I stopped this war. But it's beyond that, because he also owes Russia. I mean, we just remembered that Russia helped him to get elected. And that's been proven many times from Mueller, who was a Republican, all through. The people want to deny it. The evidence is there. All these people that want to do their own research clearly don't want to research that, or they would already see it. So this goes back to your slop. Am I eating slop? How can I tell? Well, if they want you to believe that Ukraine attacked Russia, even though you saw it with your own eyes, that it didn't happen that way, and that we warned Ukraine that Russia was going to attack. If you believe that, then you have to assume that Russia is the victim here in this war and they're being hurt. And if that's the case, why would they need to be lured to the table to end this war? They're being lured to the table to win this war because they, as Trump said, hold all the cards, right? Because the minute Russia stops fighting in Ukraine, the war is over. And there you go. So, I mean, you can prove it to yourself. You can stand up and say, I'm not a pig and I won't eat your slop. You can do that. That's a thing you can do. And we should be encouraging anybody we know to look at it that way, to remember that you can say no to all of this. You don't have to accept it. Just because they pay Carolyn Levitt to lie in your face and expect you to be okay with that, you don't have to be. A smart man would not do that. And let's be honest, if you feel attacked when I'm talking about the piggies, that means that you're self-identifying as one of the piggies. And a smart man, that would give them pause. That would make them stop and think, why do I think that this is an attack on me when people talk about piggies eating up all the slop? And then maybe they would do their own research and maybe they would come to some kind of a realization, but whatever. All right, hang in there.